Welcome back to Bills, Bets, and Beers. I'm your host, Chad, and this could be a video talking about the playoff divisional round preview and prediction parlay that I'm putting in for it. I actually made it a little bit more interesting this time. I put 8-leg parlay in. I know there's only 4 games, so I just decided I went either covering the spread or not, and then going with the over-unders for each game. So, gonna be fun. First, we're going to be going through the injuries to watch. I like doing injury reports so you have an idea of what's going on with these games, what might cause games to go a different way, and why I'm picking certain things as well. So you have guard Alex Kappa. He has an ankle injury. He didn't play last week for the Bengals, and so it's very interesting. He's still on a DNP this went like today actually, so that's gonna be interesting. Looking forward towards this game still. Um, then you have offensive tackle Lane Johnson, groin injury. He's on the Eagles. I put him on there because O-line's important, especially when it gets into this part of the season. And they have a good run game. They have everything kind of going for them. They're going up against the Giants, a familiar foe, so it's nothing too crazy. I think they're going to be facing a Giants team that's yes, they faced them in week 18, but they're going to be most likely using Daniel Jones on the ground a lot more. So, be very interesting how that goes. And then you have cornerback Avante Maddox, Eagles as well. I put that in there because you're not going to expect Daniel Jones to throw too much, but being down a starting corner in this postseason is going to be big for them. I still think they can get this dub, but it's be a lot closer than people think it's going to be. Then wide receiver Sky Moore for the Chiefs. He has a hand injury, and it's like that was their only really significant injury. If he's playing this week, he's playing, but they still have enough wide receivers and like weapons that they don't have to really worry about too much. But who knows? The Jags might come up and bite them, especially if they're not if they're overlooking them at this point. Then you got the nose tackle Jordan Phillips for the Bills. He having all of our defense healthy is going to be massive. We have majority of it healthy at the moment. Dane Jackson is currently limited participation already. I foresee him playing, but if he doesn't, I think they're going to bring up Benford and put him in the active roster again because he came off IR recently, so it'll be very interesting. But yeah, Jordan Phillips could be huge. If we have him going on there, we have more rotation available. People are going in their full strength, not being overly winded, going off certain drives and things like that. So having a good healthy rotation is always good for the Bills, and that's how they usually keep the pass rush going strong all game. And especially against this weekend offensive line, it's gonna be huge against the Bengals. So, but yeah, that's gonna be it for my injuries. There's not much injuries. Most teams are pretty healthy, just some nicks and stuff here. I just picked the ones I thought would be kind of a little bit would affect the games in a sense enough. So we're going to be looking at the playoff divisional round and reacting and predicting a little bit. Just doing some money line predictions here. Then I'll go over my actual spread and everything after. So I can set it up. Okay, there it is. So obviously the Chargers had a huge, like a massive let up in that game for the Jags to come back. Crazy to think he threw 4 picks in the first half and then 4 touchdowns in the second. I would guess that's a first in the playoffs. Another weird first weird first happened in the NFL, but crazy game. I mean, Chargers just choked it away, but you can't say any more from that. The Jaguars came back and they did their thing. That Chiefs Jags is gonna be very interesting. I honestly think, obviously, KC is gonna be most likely gonna be winning this. Spreads like plus 8.5. So I can't. If I was actually putting money on this, I would say the Chiefs are gonna win, but I wouldn't say that the Jags don't have a chance to win this game. Because if you look at the games past like 4 to 5 weeks of the season, but that the KC was facing, I mean, they almost lost to the Texans. They had a very close match against another bad team as well, and it's like everything is very I don't know. They're having very close games, and yes, that shows they can win the close games. Went to overtime with the Texans, won it obviously, but not a very strong suit coming into the season. Yes, they've had a week off. Everyone's a little bit more banged up now than they were after coming into this postseason. So they're going to have an upper hand in that. But I think these Jags teams are running so hot that if the Chiefs decide to possibly overlook them, or even at one point just think the game's done with, I think they could come up bite them and be very interesting. But I would take the Chiefs in that. So Ravens Bengals, that was a very interesting game. Bengals came out not looking that great. They were without Kappa, and then they also had another I think it was a tackle go down as well. Just here, I know his name. It was Jonah Williams. So it's like you're looking at that and seeing how that's going. It's like, so after that, after Jonah Williams went out, they had tons of pressures on Burrow. They got like 4 sacks, so it's definitely was a massive loss for them. But Hubbard came up huge with that freaking fumble recovery touchdown. When I don't know why Tyler Huntley tried going over instead of under the pile when you're that far away, but it happened, and the Bengals won. The better team did win at the end, even though it was a bad performance throughout the whole thing, in a sense, where they could have and should have lost it if the Baltimore didn't mess up. But Bengals made a good play on a bad play from the Baltimore Ravens, and that's what good teams do. They win. So they're going to be coming into the Bill Stadium, who also had a very not great game going into the season and into this divisional round. Dolphins were way too close. I didn't. I mean, I was at that game, and it was just like, what are you doing? Why are you throwing all these picks? And then you start off the first play of the third quarter after you just got a lead by 3 points, and you let them get a fumble recovery touchdown. It's like, oh, that was so frustrating watching some of that game. But that crowd noise was so crazy that there's so many like false starts and delay games from the Dolphins. It was beautiful. So home field advantage definitely did play big for us in that. And yes, it looks bad for the Bills, but I think it's was slightly a good thing in a sense. I think it's a big wake up call being like, listen, we cannot be playing any more games like that. If we play any more games even slightly that way, we are going to lose against the teams coming up. We can no longer make these little mistakes that turn into big mistakes and just keep piling up. Because if you do that in a game against the Bengals, Chiefs, damn, even the Jags, you're not going to have a great outcome out of it unless they make a big mistake and you score off of it, or you get a touchdown after getting a fumble, like then you burn the clock enough so they can't come back. So it's just, you don't want to put it into the situation where you have to have like everything go your way at the end to win the game. You want to have control of it and not have to fight back after making mistakes. So I think it's going to be a very good game against Bengals Bills, but I'm going to put the Bills, obviously. I mean, I could say it's biased for the team, but I just think with the health of the health between the two teams and the fact that our D line is could most likely be healthier now with Phillips in there. Um, I just see us being able to get after Burrow enough. I know he's pretty good. Granted, to beat him, you have to actually sack him. But if you put the pressure on him and you don't get to him quick enough, he can hurt you that way too. So be very interesting. But I have the Bills winning this. It's gonna be a very close game. Um, and spoiler, I don't see the Bills covering the spread currently. Then you have Cowboys, Tampa. I mean, I had Cowboys winning that game. Personally, I thought Cowboys were the better team. I thought Tampa was just going to fold, but they folded so much. I mean, Tom Brady did not look great at all, and you can't really say much more from that. It was just a beating. Didn't throw a touchdown until 2 minutes left in the game. That's just like very un Brady esque. So great to see as a person who's not a big fan of him, but definitely that was one of the only blowouts of the week, besides San Fran, but that was a blowout in the second half, not the whole game. But yes, that brings the Cowboys coming up against San Francisco. So very interesting. I think that game's gonna be very good. San Fran started off really slow again in that Seattle game, but then their defense and offense ramped up, and showed out and showed that they were the better team. That's what good teams do. If they have a bad first half, they rally and they just bury points down in the second half. So they are doing very well in that aspect. So this Cowboys San Francisco game is going to be very interesting. But I do have San Francisco edging out on this, and spoiler, I have them covering the spread. It's very low though. I'll tell you the exact numbers later on. But I do have 49ers winning that. And then this Giants Vikings game, we all knew that it was going to be very up in the air what Vikings team came out to play. But I mean, that week of rest definitely helped the Giants. They came out strong. They did what they needed to, and I think they really, in a sense, kind of dominated most of the game. I didn't get to watch most of it, but I did like a quick rewatch of like the big plays from it. So Daniel Jones played very well. I mean, well enough to win this game, and it was just weird coaching decisions by the Vikings, and like also like Kirk Cousins deciding to throw that like a 3 yard pass on a 4th and 8 at the end of the game. It's just weird what they were doing at that towards the ends, but Giants got a well-deserved win. They're coming up against another like a foe they're used to. I mean, the Eagles. They've been facing them. They faced them twice already. The last time they faced them, Week 18, they had most of their starters out, and I think, like I said, there's going to be more running the ball coming from the quarterback, and I see Daniel Jones. That's going to be a very the defense is going to have to play very differently now. They're going to have a spy back there, which they probably already had before, but they're going to have to pretty much double down on that, and you have to have a spy back there. So it might give some breathing room to Saquon, and I don't know. It's just gonna be a very fun game to watch. I think this game, I don't know how the spread's plus 7.5, but definitely it's gonna be good. I think I have the Giants with the plus 7.5 on this one. But if you're talking money line, I would have to give it to the Eagles. I think Eagles are going to win it by 3 points, maybe like a late field goal kick or something, but or stopping Daniel Jones with like a pick at the end and then burning the clock out by running. So it's going to be like about a 3 point game, not a 7 to 10 point game. Um, but that's just my predictions at this moment. So I got I got to be in KC Bills for the AFC Championship and Eagles San Fran for the NFC. Not very exciting, but I could see, like I said, same thing with the Jags. I could see the Giants beating the Eagles. I mean, if the Eagles are overlooking the Giants, which I don't think they're going to because they're a divisional opponent and they know that they know them very well. Um, and who knows how healthy that shoulder's feeling for Hurts at the moment. So that everything factors in. So it could be a recipe for success for the Giants, but it's very hard to see them winning. So it's very boring. You're basically picking the top seeds from all the games, but that's all you can really do right now. Um, there's no one in the right minds to be picking the Jags over the Chiefs. I think though the big swinger would be the Bengals Bills, which I think either team can win. I think it's going to be the team that makes the least amount of mistakes. So, but I see the Bills doing it with the health factor being on their side. But yeah, that's going to be it for that. And let's get into my parlay now. It's be a very quick parlay. Um, so like I was saying earlier, I got the Jags plus 8.5 point spread versus the Chiefs, and I'm going with the over 52.5 points total. I think you'd say, oh, the Jags aren't going to be scoring enough to get that. I think it's going to be a very high scoring game, and I think the Chiefs, if they win, they're going to be scoring at least 30 something, 30 probably 34 plus points. And I could see the Jags at least getting 20, 21. And that's going to be well over what they need to get this spread. I mean, to get that over. So not a big surprise there. Then I got Giants plus 7.5 versus the Eagles. Um, and I chose the under on that, under 48.5. I think this is going to be a more defensive based game. They know each other very well. And with it being a more defensive based game, it's most likely going to turn out to be like a 17-21 or like a 20-23 or 20-24 type of game. I don't see it going over 44 points. So that 48.5 is pretty safe for me, I would say. And I had the Giants covering that plus 7.5 because I don't see the Eagles. Like I said, I don't see the Eagles winning by that much. They might have a little dust and rust coming off this bye week, so they might come off a little slow, and it's just gonna deter them from getting that 10-point win. Then I got 49ers -3 over the Cowboys. It's only a 3-point spread. It's at the 49ers, which that's just basic. That's just the baseline when you're looking at stuff. If you're not familiar with betting, when it says -3, that means and they're the home team. That means it's a pick 'em. That means they're getting 3 points because they have the advantage of home field advantage. That's it. No traveling. They have the fans on their side. All that stuff. So I chose the under on this. Um, I know the Cowboys defense has been known to get burned often and throughout the year, and they've had games where they've lost by big numbers by bad teams. But just going off of what they did last week, Tampa wasn't any slouch, but they weren't the greatest either. It was more of a defensive thing in the beginning of it. Obviously, the Cowboys scored and stuff compared to Tampa not scoring, but I just see this being more of a defensive game as well. I know both teams can score big, but I took the under at under 46.5 points. Definitely a big risk, I think, but I just see it being a more defensive game. And similar to the Giants Eagles, I see it being like a 24 to like 17 or like 24-20 type of thing, where it's still underneath the 46, but it might be get a little hairy on that for me. Then finally, I got the Bengals plus 4.5 versus the Bills. And I took the over 48.5 points on the total points of the game. I think it's gonna be high enough scoring where it's it's most likely gonna be like uh, a 31-27 or like a 34 I don't know, a 34-30 or something like that game where people are winning probably by Bills are going to win by 3 or 4 points, not the full 4.5. You're pretty much have to win by 7 to get that, and I just don't see the Bills winning by 7 in this game because this could be very competitive. So I see it being like I said, like a 27-24 or even like I said, a 31-27, something along those lines where the Bills are going to be winning, but not by the whole spread. That's why I gave the 4.5 to the Bengals because I think it's going to be about a 3-point game, 3 to 4 point game on this game to determine on either side. I took the over because, like I said, the only easy way to get the over is if one team scores 28 and the other gets 20, or I mean the other gets 21. That's very doable, and I think with these type of offenses, and granted the defense, Bills defense has been a little bit better, and the Bengals do have a good pass rush, and they've been getting some turnovers. I just see it being a very high scoring game, and fireworks should be going off. It's going to be a shootout between Burrow and Allen, and whoever makes the least amount of mistakes is going to be winning this game. Overall odds, 12,920, and it turns my $2 into $260. So hopefully all these things hit, and I can come back and give a nice little video showing how doing like these like small like micro bets, you can definitely get some big money by like how you put your bets in, and like it'll definitely boost your odds a lot better. Anyways, let's get to my sponsors. I got my wife. She has an Instagram, professional Instagram. Her business Instagram account, Crochet with Elisha. That's Crochet WITHELISHA. She does for the cold months, like right now, hats, mittens, gloves, beanies, cardigans, blankets, pretty much anything you could think of, she makes. And it goes all the way down to infants, all the way up to toddlers. She does like little she's on a little headband thing to take like 5-10 minutes to make for like little girls, like a little headband with like a flower on it, things like that. She's also done bikini tops and bottoms, beer koozies, like stuffed animals, everything. Check out her page. If you want anything, shoot her a DM and she'll reach out to you, probably with some asking for some extra information, seeing what kind of color you'd like it, all these things like that. And then she'd give you a price and whatnot after she has more information from you. But definitely check it out. Then I got my buddy Evan. He's got his channel on YouTube as well. It's down below right there. As you can tell, it's spelled Mr_NASTYTYYYME. He does a lot of game streaming. He's been doing more Madden franchise. He was playing some Mass Effect Collection on there. He does not as much as of now, but he still plays some Warzone 2.0 and a whole bunch of other games. And he also does some NFL content too, doing some podcasts. He does podcasts about arm wrestling, which he's been getting into the past year or so now. He does MMA podcasts, which he's been into for like 20 plus years. Actually been doing MMA for 15 plus himself. So when he breaks down fights, parlays, and all these cards, he knows what he's talking about. He won in a 7-1 earlier and won a big chunk of money. So you can definitely trust what he's saying about the fights. So check him out. He knows the stuff. The chat's great when you're watching his videos, when he's gaming. Not recommended for like the young ages, like 5, 6, but if you're an adult and you want to watch it and you want to hear some funny slash aggressive content, go check it out. Um, then my last little segment here, I just got my upcoming videos. I'm gonna be doing a Bills versus Bengals preview and prediction. I'm gonna be having a special guest on my channel as well. Um, I'll put it in my community tab so everyone knows what's going on. But he's a little more well known um, Bengals creator. Uh, he has about 2.2K followers or 2.2K subs at the moment. So he definitely has a big following. He's been doing it for a little bit. Um, it's Cincinnati Sports. I can't think off the top of my head, but it's I mean it from what his content, he does a lot of good stuff. He talks with the reporters over there that work and do stuff with the Cincinnati Bengals. So he's well known, and I'm glad to have him on my channel. I'll be dropping that tomorrow night. Um, then I got my uh divisional playoff round same game parlays, and I'll be doing a Bills versus Bengals post game recap along with an AFC plus NFC championship preview and reaction. So a lot of big things coming up there. Going to be fun. But that's going to be it for me. If you have any comments, feedback, like negative, positive, all feedback is welcomed. Let me know if you like the injury report that I do in the beginning. If it's too long, let me know. I'll put that maybe a little bit more towards the end. I just like to give a quick layout of what's going on. And if you are new to the channel and you don't know what I usually do here, I talk about the Bills, football, NFL in general. I go through my parlays that I put in. I went during the regular season. I was doing a lot of Monday night, Sunday night, and Thursday night football parlays, as well as just some normal Sunday games. And then I do the occasional tasting and rating of a tasty brew. I did one last video, so go check it out. But that's going to be it for me. You guys have a good night and go Bills.